Hey guys, Sean Hammond with PremierGuitar.com. We are at Summer NAMM in Nashville, talking to James Brown, the guy behind lots of cool amps and pedals out there. James, how are you?
Doing great. We're having a great show.
Sweet. It's almost over. You're almost going to be out of this insanity. But let's create some insanity. We've got actually creating the insanity on the bass here, Lee Hendricks, who's a session bassist here in Nashville. He also plays for Eric Church on the road. Eric, thanks for joining us. So, James Brown makes Amptweaker pedals. You have 3 new bass ones here, right?
Right. We've had a lot of success with our bass line in the past. Lee actually plays both of these pedals, the bass tight fuzz and the bass tight drive. And ever since we started doing the metal stuff, the metal guys have been pounding on me to do a dry low knob like this for the bass, for the metals. So I finally figured out how to do it, and I went ahead and introduced all 3 of our junior pedals with that option. It's a little side-mounted dry low knob that blends in the low end of the dry
unaffected bass,
right,
so it doesn't get too diffuse and fart out.
Instead of, a lot of guys like to do a blend with the full clean tone of the bass. On this we have just the bottom end and the mids so that it doesn't clash with the high end of the distortion and create any kind of weird phase shift. And the blend works really well.
So there's kind of the same control set on all 3 new bass pedals, right? But they are different. Is it safe to say that they're just sort of moderate or sort of mellow drive to medium to all out?
Exactly. They do kind of overlap a lot. I'll show you a little bit of range on each one, but right now we've kind of got them dialed into a cool setting, and I'll let Lee just kind of play a little bit of each one.
Now, when we came in, what was Lee playing? Which pedal?
That was the bass TightRock Junior, set with kind of about 3/4 gain on it. So and one of the cool things about that one is even with that much gain, he's playing a hollow body, and I've got the noise gate on here to solve that problem. Here it is without the play a little bit. Here's the noise gate off. So with the built-in noise gate, you can play with that much gain on a hollow bass and still control it.
I couldn't hear a difference, but that's because we're at NAMM and I can't hear anything.
Yeah, right. Well, and you thought that howl was so musical, it must have been part of the song.
That's right. Now, actually it was cool because it also was kind of a almost fuzz-like tone on that one.
Exactly.
Now,
we're going to use that on the next record.
Nice. So why don't you run down the features, and then we'll hear the other 2.
Okay. So the other pedals that we have, our proprietary thing here is the tight control. To make these smaller and lighter, I took the tight knob off and made it into a switch that also has a fat setting, which is something that we put in our pro pedals. And then on the left side here, there's an EQ switch that gives you 3 different EQ options: the normal sound, a smoother sound, and then a plexi sound. So you've got a lot of EQ flexibility. And then the noise gate, of course, like we mentioned a minute ago. I'm running them all on 9 volt, but you can also run them on 18 if you want a little bit cleaner tone, a little more headroom. You get a more dynamic tone that way.
Make them a little more sparkly.
Exactly. So I'll just go through a little bit of the tone variations on this one, and then we'll let you hear the other sounds real quick. So
how did you have it set when we came in? Just kind of medium?
We got it set on a 3/4 gain. The plexi is on, and the fat switch. So now I'll go through the tight switch here and show you what that does while he's playing it. That's fat, here's medium, and then here's the tight setting. Now, if you're on that tight setting, without this dry low knob, it would sound like this. See, we're blending in a lot of dry low end with this. So it sounds a little bit more like a guitar and a bass together than just a bass that's beating up the low end.
Sounds pretty awesome, man.
That's the plexi sound. If you want a little smoother top end, here's the smooth sound. And then the middle is what we call the Goldilocks position. It's just right. Okay. Now, you can get cleaner sounds even out of this rock pedal if you go down in here like that. Play a little of that. And by the way, this is the clean sound that we're playing through the amp. So it's all drive from the pedal. Okay, so that's the TightRock version. Here's the TightDrive, which can get pretty heavy, but it starts out a lot cleaner. This is kind of a sound we dialed in. And that setting is with both of the switches in the middle. Okay, I'll show you how heavy it can get. Here's with the plexi and the tone all the way up, the gain all the way up. All right, and then here's the TightMetal. And on the TightMetal, I've got the gate turned up too, because you got that same, but you turn that gate up and the notes stop hard, just like our regular TightMetal for guitar.
Now, how dirty does the metal go?
If you get in here, this is probably like the heaviest sound of it, right?
Probably
here.
Most metal bassists won't be playing a hollow body, but...
Right.
It sounds pretty awesome. The bass, the amp, everything. How much are these going for, man?
These are $169.
The street price, right?
Right. The guitar versions are $159. These have the extra dry low knob. So.
All right, well, Lee, thank you for playing for us. I think we're going to switch over to your new guitar pedal now, right?
Right.
All right. All right. So James, you guys have the new FatMetal Pro guitar pedal, which is going further than the old TightMetal Pro, right?
Basically, we've got a lot of different kinds of metal guys using our stuff, and the guys that play a lot of tremolo picking or more of a stoner, sludge, all that kind of stuff, they like a little bit buzzier low end.
Yeah.
So it's like the TightMetal is just a little bit too tight for those guys, and it doesn't. And also the other people that use twins or some real bright clean amp, sometimes the TightMetal is a little bit too edgy for them. So we built this FatMetal, the original FatMetal, and of course I've been barraged with people, you know, let me have a pro version of that with the 3-band EQ and all that. So it's all the same features as the original TightMetal Pro, which we've talked about in the past. So,
different voicing.
Right, it's different voicing. The gain structure's a lot different, and it gets a little bit of what some people would consider a heavier sound. And the way I have it hooked up, on the board I have the FatMetal Pro sitting in the sidetrack loop of the TightMetal Pro, and I've got them set kind of the same so I can A/B between them with one click, just to give you a quick reference of the two sounds.
Okay, so we grabbed Fred here with his down-tuned Les Paul to help us out. Are we going to start with the TightMetal Pro as the reference, or are we starting with the Fat?
Let's just go straight into the FatMetal.
Okay. Let it rip, Fred.
Now here's the TightMetal. Here's the TightMetal playing some similar stuff.
So it's a little bit more trebly, a little more high mids.
Right, and it kind of punches a little harder. The other one has a little bit more buzzy between the notes. Now, one thing that is a little bit, on this one I have there's a little adjustment inside for the noise gate. For this crowd, I've got it set lower than I do on the TightMetal Pro, but you can turn it all the way up and get the really tight gate if you want that. So it does have that flexibility.
Okay, so how much is the FatMetal Pro going for?
It's $319. both the same price as the other pros that we already have.
Cool. Fred, thanks for playing for us.
Thanks a lot.
Lee, wherever he went, thanks for playing for us. James, why don't you tell everyone where to go online to check out this stuff and more?
Yeah, if you go to amptweaker.com, we've got a lot of cool videos and stuff. And in fact, today a new video just came out with That Pedal Show that also features both of these two models in it. So if they want to hear a little bit more variations and stuff on it, they can check that out too.
Cool. Thanks, James.
All right, thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Sean Hammond for PremierGuitar.com.